All right, so we're gonna be taking a look at this Guild Wars philosophy blog post for Guild Wars 3. This is one of the very first post Summer Games Fest pieces of information that we're getting. So what a great time, man! I still cannot believe that it's real. I'm still like, holy shit, this is a real game. It's probably coming out in 2028, hopefully. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. So basically, the big things here. I'm not going to read all of this because it's a long article. No subscription fees, which is really great. No pay to win. One could argue that Guild Wars 2, there is arguments to be made about pay to win with that game. But they do talk about how they want that they're going to have account services and time saving convenience items. So I would assume along the lines of Guild Wars 2's monetization. Um, I didn't see them mention anything about gold to gems in this game yet. I would assume that they're not going to take it out, right? Like it's not going to be not a thing in this game. Um, but I hope gold to gems is a thing because it is a huge thing in Guild Wars 2, massive chase, and it allows them to put a lot of the stuff in the shop while also having it technically be earnable in the game, which is really, really great. It's a great middle ground, like instead of just putting a bunch of shit behind a paywall, you could actually earn this stuff. And honestly, in Guild Wars 2, it's pretty easy to earn a lot of stuff. So, um, yeah. Respecting your time and investment. This is another thing they're going to go over in the future. Ways that this game is going to, um, you know, appeal to the modern kind of, busy ass audience with a lot of people who don't have a lot of time to play these kind of games, and they want to appeal to those people as they always have. I mean, they did this with Guild Wars 2, and I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Innovating in MMO genre. They talk about kind of what it looks like right now. Um, but they talk about how Guild Wars Reforged is about a game, with a small team. Guild Wars 2 is a huge, giant game, right, where you could have up to 50 people in total, I think, on it in a single map. It's a really, there's meta events and world bosses, and it's a really insane game with that. Guild Wars 3 is attempting to be in the middle. And there's a lot of people who are not very happy with this decision. Personally, I'm really excited to see what they're going to do, with the new focus for open world content. What is it going to look like to not have these really large meta events being a major focus? And that was something that I have grown quite tired of with Guild Wars 2's open world content, is the over reliance on meta events, and that has been alleviated in recent years, especially with like Janther Wilds and this expansion. That there is more like smaller scale or solo stuff to do. Like something that I love about Guild Wars 2 is the base game dynamic event system, right? So you come in and you team up with other players around you, right? But then once the event's done, you just split off, and it's sort of like you come together and then you disband. And it's like this really cool thing where you just naturally meet people, but you're not sticking with them for too long. But then you leave, and then you meet other people, and it's, I don't know. I really like that loop, and I would love to see that be a major focus in Guild Wars 3 or whatever kind of other system they have going on. We don't even know if events are going to be a thing. We don't know if meta events or dynamic events or park quests or whatever the hell will be a thing. We have no idea. But this does essentially confirm that this is going to be, to me, when I saw Guild Wars 3 and the information that they're providing on it, like, to me, this game has always seemed like it's trying to be more like Guild Wars 1 than Guild Wars 2, just from the looks of it and like the sound of it to me. Um, when they're talking about partying up with a band of heroes or whatever in that one sentence on this website, to me that immediately kind of sounds like either party up with players. It sounds like Guild Wars 1, and that you see the other people in the towns, and you could choose to, you can group up and go out into the world together, or you can get the NPC heroes and then go out the world with them. And something that I've never liked about Guild Wars 2 is that you're not able to have these NPC heroes a lot. I would assume because they don't want to make it so everyone has an NPC hero, and then it's clogging up the map. And it's probably like technically a huge challenge for them to be able to do that kind of thing. Where if you reduce the scale you could probably do that kind of thing. And so that's something I'd really, really love for this game is if they're able to have these NPC allies and stuff that's just so cool in Guild Wars One that they have. Um, but yeah, it doesn't try to replicate large scale gameplay pillars that is so uniquely defined Guild Wars 2. And I think this is obviously just because they don't really want to do the same thing that Guild Wars 2 does. They are still going to be updating Guild Wars 2 and doing Guild Wars 2 in the future and going back to yearly expansions after Guild Wars 3 launches. So they don't want to have Guild Wars 3 be like the exact same game as Guild Wars 2 or very similar. They want it to be a completely different thing. And that's what they're doing here. And that to me is very, very exciting. I know some people are going to be sad about that because they want a new Guild Wars game, but they also wanted to maintain the Guild Wars 2 stuff that they love. And I completely understand that, but you know, I don't know. This is all text info right here. We have not seen the game. We haven't seen any real gameplay yet. We have no idea. So, I would reserve judgment for now. You could be a little skeptical, but to outright be like, oh, that's fucking awful, and some of the shit that I've seen, I just think that's a little early to do that kind of thing. Especially if you're a really big Guild Wars fan, you know that they're going to be cooking up some good shit, man. Come on. Yeah, I still remain incredibly interested, and honestly, even more interested now, given that they're going to be shaking up the open world stuff a lot here. And this essentially confirms that we're not going to be seeing meta events. We're not going to be seeing very large scale world bosses. We could still see something similar, but in the same way that Guild Wars 2 does it, absolutely not. So, yeah, that's sort of my thoughts. I've seen a lot of discussion around the art style of this game, and to me, I've always looked at the art style and imagined it being. I've always seen this as like look at this shit. This is like people are like this is like slop. I'm like, look at this. That is fucking. Look at the grass and just the pure artistry of like how it's angled with the flowers right there and then the bushes, and it's like, oh my dude, it just looks fucking gorgeous, man. The sun just beaming through like that. It's just like that. I'm getting goosebumps looking at this shit. It's a work of art. This is in the game. It looks amazing. So, yeah. All right. I'll probably make more Guild Wars 3 videos in the future. I'm not probably, I will, absolutely. So stay tuned. But yeah, peace out.